Welcome to the JAMODI podcast. We are all surrounded by amazing coaches and leaders. So let's get an inside look at not just what they do, but how they do what they do. After all, becoming the best versions of ourselves is JAMODI, just a matter of doing it. The JAMODI podcast is powered by Sideline Interactive. Sideline Interactive is the leading manufacturer for high-quality, innovative scoring tables and LED video display boards that help coaches and schools bring more excitement to fans, create huge fundraising opportunities, and make their jobs easier. Visit sidelineinteractive.com to check out their amazing products. Being a great leader yourself, but then also, like you've already said, you've had so many players come, or former players now, that either they're principals or they're ADs and you're working with. So you get to be around a lot of great leaders. What's one quality that you see in them?
Well, for me, I think the number one quality is communication. I think that's huge. I think it's big. And I think, one thing that you can do, like if you get up early, you can kind of, you can put all that stuff on paper or type it into your phone or whatever. You can make sure you got all the things that you need to get done for that day. You need to have it, lined out. When, COVID probably, I don't think I was a terrible communicator. I think I was a pretty good communicator. I think I got information out the way it needed to be shared. But COVID obviously, made some of us really, 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 high level communicators.
It stretched us for sure.
Right, yeah. Right. On my whiteboard in my office, there's like 3 or 4 things that I want to make sure that I do daily. And one of those things is over communicate. And I know that's probably too much, but over communicate. So, we got all this technology, all these apps and all these things that you can put information out. Man, I just want your phone number and your parents' phone number. And then I'm going to shoot you some information every, once a week, or if I need to get to your parents real quick, not only call them, but I can shoot them a text message. So during COVID, I text, we would, our coaching staff, we would not only text our kids, we would text kids and parents. So we've kept that practice. We're still texting our parents. We're still texting our kids. Our weekly agenda, and I think just being able to communicate, not only verbally articulate what it is that you want to say. I think there's other facets of communication. I think you said something earlier about players might look around and say, I wonder how coach is going to come in, what is his mannerisms going to be like? Well, that's a piece of your communication to me.
Yeah.
So if you walk in the gym, those kids can see coach he must be having a bad day or, something like that. So to me, that getting up early piece has a lot to do with the energy and the spirit that we try to bring to practice. Even on the football field, when I go, I try to get my mind right before I jump out there on that football field. Cause sometimes, Matt, it's real hot out there and we have that field turf and it don't get any cooler. So you gotta have your mind right when you go out there. And the same thing with the gym, just communicating with your body language and, things of that nature, man. I'm a big believer in spirit. And so when you walk into that gym, man, you can feel the spirit, man. Like when people go to church and they get the Holy Spirit, they got it. You know what I mean? Because if you can feel it in the gym, I know you can feel it when the good Lord is speaking to you.
That's good. I love that you use the term over communicate because I think that's maybe a fear sometimes is I don't want to over communicate or I don't want to annoy or push too much. And I think that's rarely the case. I think if you're over communicating, then they may just not read everything or they may just, but okay, if when I've had multiple sport athletes and I see the parent of that athlete during that sport, sometimes they have great things to say. Like, oh, he's loving it. Great, a culture, everything, community, but great experience. But it's amazing to me how sometimes parents will let you know exactly, like they don't realize that maybe he's my colleague. You probably shouldn't be sharing. But I think the number one thing that parents get frustrated about besides playing time, but number one thing about that is lack of communication. I
Right.
think it's a way for trouble to work its way into
Way
your
in. Yeah.
program, no
Yeah.
doubt.
Yeah. And after the season, because our kids go to other sports, the communication is not as much. It's not weekly,
Hmm.
but every now and then I may hit them with a "how you doing," that kind of thing, or we got seniors coming up. If we got senior activities, I know parents know senior activities, but I may shoot it to them also. We got test or something coming up, stuff like that. I might shoot it to them just so the parents will know that we're still keeping an eye
Yeah.
on their kid, even though, they're not, playing our sport right now. I mean, I go to, I go to baseball games. Actually, I have to work the baseball game, which is cool. I do pitch count. That's fun.
Nice. Nice.
So we work the baseball game. So I got one varsity player playing baseball. You know, most of our kids are really good football players, so they go to the track. So whenever I get a chance to go to a track meet, obviously I'm gonna go to a track meet. But as I get a little older, I still get up early, but I try to get some time to myself too.
Yeah.
That's it's a long time, man. Putting that work in and going for football, the basketball, and stuff like that. Sometimes if I can get away at 4 or 5 o'clock, I'm gonna try to get away at 4 or 5 o'clock. Like this week, I still got to get my coaches' evaluations in. We still got to talk, about that. But we after the season, so we lost during spring, or we were about to go on spring break, so we lost the week before spring break, and then we took spring break, and then for the first time in my career, I took another week off during school. I don't do that. I got a lot of POT days or
Yeah.
state personal. I got a lot of those days. So this was the first time in 27 years that I've actually took more, I took another week off. And
Yeah.
so I felt like I needed that. But anytime our kids are active, like we went to a one act play, my wife and I, we went and and watched our kids. Like we're invested in this school. Like obviously I'm a graduate. And so I want not only want, athletes to see, I want our students,
Mm.
to see me, at their events. And so always go to one act play, always go to the musical. I was actually in the fall musical one year. So,
Nice. You have
so
footage of that? You have a film of that?
I hope there's no footage of that. I hope not, but it was fun though. It
Man.
was a bunch of coaches. We kind of just joined in. We had like one little scene and then we got up out of there. But for that one little scene, just like anything else, when you practice, it takes a long time
Yeah.
for that one scene. You know what I mean? So we practice all these hours for, these 32 minutes we get to play.
Man.
And it's the same thing. So, yeah, man, I think communication is important. I don't think there's a such thing as over communicate. Like
I
you said,
just
they're
yeah.
gonna look at the text message or not. So you can't say you didn't get it.
I think the challenge, and you've challenged me just in our talk already. The challenge is for us to for us to matter at our school outside of just the sport that we play.
Mm-hmm.
And coach, I'm probably guilty of uh, being very focused in basketball
No, I get it. I
and
understand.
not paying attention to too much else here.
Right.
But then I listen to you and just I can't imagine just the mark that you've had over the students there. But then I mean, think of the other teachers too and the way they must look at you because there's always going to be a little bit of a stigma towards coaches that they're
Sure.
not the best teachers, that they don't care about the classroom, that it's athletics first. And then here comes a guy like you that is just you're at everything, you're involved, you care, golly, you're at plays like
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and it's just impressive. And so I appreciate the example that you're leading not only at the school, but I got to imagine there's other coaches like me that are going to hear this and be like, oh, I'm not doing enough. And I know you're not perfect. So I'm not trying to say it,
No, 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 no.
but it's just, man, I'll tell you, it's impressive.
That's just me. I mean, I'm not trying to do it to
Yeah.
get slaps on the back or, I'm trying to be there. I mean, we're in the kid business. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I try to be visible.
But it's easy to forget that. It's easy to forget that when we're talking about skills and games and winning and, man, legacy, when that horrible word creeps in, but it can be good in your case. The legacy that you're building is good. I think, unfortunately, legacies that some of us coaches build are just wins and not much relationship. And
I mean, you say that, yeah, you say that, but I think, because I've been there. I mean, I've been there my whole career basically. So, those people around there know when it's basketball season that.
And that's good.
But your best not to mess with Coach Snell.
Yeah, but see, they know that, but they also appreciate the way that you're able to also be present in other areas of the school. Where, I mean, and we've worked with people, and again, at different levels. I think I'm better now than I was, but walk around with tunnel vision on. It might as well just be people going by, and I have no even, so I think great example that you set, and it is like you said, that's just you. Well, you're lucky, because like those are great attributes to have.
Appreciate that. Thank you, man.
Thank you for checking out today's episode. Please take a moment to subscribe to this podcast, share it with your fellow coaches, and find us on social media for what's coming up next on the JAMODI podcast. It's just a matter of doing it.